Hello and welcome family. I hope you are doing great in your life. So in this video, I am going to talk about PhD program from Amity University. So basically, you have to give your NET examination, and once you have qualified your NET examination, either NET or JRF, then you would be exempted from giving any entrance examination. You would be called for interview, and in case if you have not given your NET examination, or you have not qualified, if either of this situation has arisen, so can you pursue your PhD or not? The answer is simply yes. And for doing so, you have to give the entrance examination of the universities. So here in this video, I am talking about specially Amity University, and I did had the in-hand experience of Amity University Noida. So I would be focusing more on that, but I would also I do believe that other Amity would also be following the same process in PhD. So here in this video, I'm specifically talking about pursuing your PhD in law, and since I have the experience and exposure for law because I am a law postgraduate myself, so I really do not have an idea about other domain. So this video is specifically for PhD in law. So Amity University, it offers PhD in law in two sections. One is part-time PhD and the other is a full-time PhD. So your part-time PhD is for 4.5 years and you can complete it in 4.5 years, and the full-time PhD, that is the regular course, that would be for 3 years. Now when I say part-time PhD, it is not a correspondence course, it is also regular course, but it is not like the full time. That is, in full time you have to come like every day, how you gave your graduation and post graduation, but in part time you will have the leverage that your classes will be conducted on weekends. This is what I have known to the best of my knowledge. So coming forward to following the admission process for PhD, so you have to give the application obviously for the Amity PhD. In that you would get your all these questions, your details, your previous work experience and everything, and in that only you get the option to choose you want to pursue part-time PhD or full-time PhD. And once you are done with that, you would have to appear in their PET, that is their entrance examination test. Once your submission, you are done with the submission of the form, you will get a date to choose when you want to you want to come for the entrance examination, and you will have to download the admit card and you have to go for the entrance examination. So now I'll be talking about the entrance examination and how it is done. So this selection process goes in two steps. One, that is your entrance examination will happen, and once you qualify the entrance examination, you will be called for the interview. And if you clear the interview, if you are done with the interview, then you have to again check your Amazon, that is your not the Amazon, the microsite, that the Amazon microsite. On that the waiting period would be there, and there only you will be updated you have been selected or not. So I had gone for this entrance examination, and it was a 90-minute examination. So it had 7 sections total. It is like 1A to 1E, which is comprising of general paper 1, like how we have in the net, right? So it was consisting of 10 questions each, which is 50 questions each, and again it has 2A and 2B. That is the second part, which is comprising of your applied subject. That is, in our case for the PhD law program, it is having law paper, and now this section is having 25 questions each, again comprising 50 questions. So basically you have 50 questions from law and 50 questions in general, comprising total of 100 questions, and the time that you will be getting for this examination is 90 minutes, that is 1 hour 30 minutes. It is a CBT format, that is no pen and paper is there. It is completely MCQ, And yes, you have an invigilator. In during when I was writing the examination, there was one invigilator, and it was a pen paper based, okay. And the computer will give you, like for example, if the system hangs in between, you don't have to get panicked, because in my situation it did hang 3 to 4 times. So initially I was a bit worried, like what will happen, but the timing stops over there where it had hanged, and you never lose out with the time. And yes, the coming forward, how are the questions, the difficulty level? I found the question moderate, very moderate compared to the UGC pattern. In case if you have studied for UGC net, or if you have really studied law properly, you will not find it very difficult. But interestingly, what I found in the law section was, it was having many questions from, but the major of the questions were from constitutional law and jurisprudence. It has chunks of questions from contract, partnership act, ADR, and family law. But the major, I think out of 25 questions, 20 questions, I would say, like out of 50 questions, 20 questions were from constitutional law. So I would definitely say, if you are planning for Amity PhD, do focus on constitutional law and jurisprudence, because it really did had a lot of questions from these two subjects. Now coming forward to the general questions, it had questions from mathematical, logical reasoning, general knowledge, aptitude, and all of that. And the difficulty level, I would say it was quite moderate. I found it easy, but when it came to questions from sports and all, so I'm not very much into sports and all, I didn't know them. But apart from that, yes, it was fine. So the question, I didn't find it really difficult, and yes, I qualified the this entrance examination. So once you are done with the entrance, you would have to, that particular day only your result will be announced. So the exam was from 9:15 a.m. So it is written in your admit card. It was written in my admit card that I have to report. So the exam started somewhere around 9:45. 90 minutes exam is done. So you have to, once the exam is done, they have you have to go in their admission sitting zone, like that area is there. You have to wait for the result. Once your name is announced, then you have to wait again till you are called for the interview. And in case if you have not qualified, that particular day only you will know that you have not qualified the entrance examination, and you can go back home. Yes, during this once this thing, I would say again that focus on the constitutional law and the jurisprudence a lot. Now coming for the interview part, you have to, since you have already during the submission you have written the thesis, the project, the dissertation, sorry, not the dissertation, the research topic, since you have already submitted. So if you have qualified this entrance examination, start revising that thesis or the research, because in the interview you would be asked mostly from that, and why you have chosen that particular area for your research, and how you would move further in that duration of your PhD program with your research topic. Now when I say so, you have to be very, very clear and crisp with, and very concrete about how you want to proceed further with your PhD. Because when I was called for the interview, see, it was not how our interview happened in the Viva or anything. There were literally 8 to 9 panel members. So it like when I saw, like when I was called for the interview, and we had other candidates also waiting for the interview. So there is a situation that you go and sneak how many people would be there to ask you. And when we saw that there were people coming in the panel room, we were literally very, very scared, because almost 5 people were already there, and again people were coming. So when I was interviewed, there was 8 to 9 people, and yes, I did not I was also very nervous, so I literally did not count how many, but yes, there were 8 to 9 people. So when you see almost in a semicircle 8 to 9 people who are expert in the field, and even the chairperson is sitting, and then you are asked question, and you definitely do not and cannot afford to mess here. You have to be really very concrete and very sure what you are saying, because yes, it is PhD is a very big commitment, because you will be investing your next 3 to 4.5 years or 5 years in this program, which is not a joke at all. So the panel members also do assess in that interview that are you just doing this PhD to get a prefix of doctor with your name, or you have a real zeal about it. So yes, before going to the interview, do drink some water. Okay, try to relax yourself, and don't get hesitant, and try to revise the thesis that you have already submitted. Be very sure why you want to pursue this PhD, and how would your next 3 years look like, and how you would move further with your work. So now coming forward, like how would this interview go on? So this interview is not a 5-minute interview. It can go on to 15 to 25 to even 40 minutes long. It completely depends how many questions you are put on, and you can be asked again. Like in my case, I was asked that my research topic is very, like it has a very vast spectrum, and I need to really concise it, because the topic I had chosen, it could have thousands of things to research on, and it would become very very vast. The topic was very vast, so I had to refine it, I had to filter it, and yes, I was ready to filter it out, because the topic the topic which I had chosen was definitely something which was in depth, a very large spectrum. So you would even get suggestions. Also, they would ask you how you would like to move forward. Okay, also they would see how clear you are with your PhD, and how serious and sincere you would be for your program, right? These all things would go forward. And yes, this interview is not a joke. Like even if you have cleared the entrance examination, you have to be very very sure about this entrance interview. Also, in the PhD program, it is not like your UG or the PG program. The seats are very very limited. So even if your interview has gone very good, you really are in that zone of probability you would be selected or not. If you have this thought in your head that it's a private college and you would get a seat, then I would definitely say that you need to rethink this thought, because it's not like the UG or the PG. It's very very different, because the seats are very very limited. Also, the interview, I won't take the name, but yes, the prominent people of the law department were there while I was interviewed, and they are really very prominent, and they did ask the questions, and it was somewhere, my interview went somewhere around 25 minutes, and it went really good, but still I am not sure, or I have no idea I would be selected or not. From my end, when I got a call from my parent, I did say the interview went really good, but I have no clue, because the seats are really very very less, and you don't know that you would get the seat or not. So you have to still pray and hope that you get the seat, because PhD is not like you would get like the UG or the PG. Now coming forward, you are done with the interview. You have to now keep checking your microsite for another 5, 7, 10 to 15 days. When it gets updated, you are selected or not. So this is how the entrance exam looks. And the suggestion I would like to say you, that you should definitely go through research methodology, and you should go through constitutional and jurisprudence while you come for entrance examination. Also, if you are exempted from giving entrance examination, be very thorough with your thesis and the interview, because it would be a grilling session. It would be the session in which they would test how serious and how clear and how committed you would be for the next years, because PhD is a very long term commitment, and after doing your graduation and post graduation, there are times when students get exhausted of studying, and they want to see how serious and committed you are towards this PhD. So yes, all the very best. I hope this video is useful to you, and pray for me that I get the admission, because yes, I'm looking very hopefully forward for getting my admission. And bye bye and take care. See you soon.